Every morning the world starts quietly, one soft light at a time. Homes flicker awake, shops open. People take those first small steps into a brand new day. And in all of that ordinary movement, there's something kind of extraordinary. A moment worth noticing, a spark you feel before you even name it. Sometimes it's quiet, sometimes it's small, but kindness shows up right on time. And every morning we choose to show up with you so we can look for that spark together.
Good morning. I'm Matt Roof, the Uncommon Kindness Guy, and this is Kindness Rising. Let's rise together.
Good morning, everyone. Yes. Welcome to Kindness Rising and Without a Net. Week 1, number 3. This week, we're asking what it means to show up real. On Monday, we began with the invitation, show up real. Yesterday, we asked why it's so hard. Why are we wearing the armor? And today, we take the next step because before we can change anything, we have to see it. Absolutely. I know Jess sees it. I know Sully sees it. Good morning. Welcome to Kindness Rising, your morning dose of hope, humanity, and heart, where we have more high fives for y'all and less rage bait. Let's get going. Let's keep going on learning to see. Yep. Help on the Way is our song. I was blind all the time. I was learning to see. That line has been following us all week. Let's continue to listen to it. And remember, it's not judgmental. It's not saying we're broken. It's not saying we're hopeless. It's not saying we're never right. It's just saying we're blind as we're learning. And that gives us the room to grow, the room to get back to the versions of ourselves that we performed, we hid, we protected, and tried to survive. And instead of shaming them, we're going to begin to understand them, because today is about awareness, because awareness always comes before change. So let's rise together. Rise with Roseanne. Good morning, Mother. How are you today? I hope everyone is doing amazing. I'm doing my best to muddle through without coffee this morning. A little tough, but we're doing it. No, I've got a doctor's appointment, blood work at 8:45, routine blood work, and I've got to stay off the coffee until I do it. Trust me, I'll be having a cup before I leave the road. The office is on. Anyway, good morning to all of you who are out there in Kindness Rising land, getting up and getting after it on Mornings in the Lab Network with me today. There it is. A little music to help us through. Have you ever looked at an old picture of yourself and suddenly realized at that time that you had no idea what you were carrying? Maybe you looked happy or confident and you felt like you had it all together. It looked like you had it all together. And years later, you can see something in that picture that you couldn't see at the time. You didn't understand the stress behind the smile, the exhaustion behind the achievement, the fear behind the confidence. That's the armor. The armor you thought was just your personality. That's one of the strange things about growth, is sometimes we only understand a season after we've lived through it. We can spend our years thinking, this is who I am. I'm the dependable one. I'm the funny one. I'm the quiet one, the one who just keeps everything together. And then one day, through a little bit of work and luck, something shifts. We begin to see that maybe this is not our identity. Maybe it was just a strategy we devised, a way to stay safe. But remember, that's not the whole story. That is what we're here today for. Not fixing everything, not changing overnight, just seeing where we perform, where we protect, where we shrink, where we confuse survival with our selfhood. Yep. Awareness is kindness. So today the invitation is simple. Don't rush out to change. Start by noticing, what am I ready to see? This is Kindness Rising. The letter me 87. What's up? What's up? What's up? I was blind, but now I see it's all there. Actually, Mom, Hunter, a lot of Hunter's lyrics are biblical. Absolutely. That is all there. And the letter me 87 coming into, I can't even see what emoji that is. I'm sure it's a smiling, happy, subscribe to the channel emoji. Right? Letter me, letter M87. Okay. Here we are, and we got to get to it. We got to get to our who in the world. Who in the world are we talking about today? A mystery person, 3 clues, with something significant today, a birthday, an anniversary, something about our theme, whatever it may be. And today's first clue for our who in the world is this. Oh, that's right. He reminded us to remain calm, all is well. Our mystery person reminded us to remain calm, all is well. All right, let's move along. We'll get to our second clue in a little bit, but first, as always, it's the kindness spotlight, and I'm taking it local today. There's the drop. Here's me scrambling there's the drop. This is who we're talking about. It's a local, and it's important to me because it's for a couple of reasons. My alma mater, and also my mother's employer, former employer. The Binghamton City School District. They have a program. It's called Mentor Now, and it pairs volunteer mentors with students in the school district. I love it for today's theme. One of the greatest gifts a mentor can give is a vision, not advice, not correction, just confidence, possibility, strength, and a future. And that matters because so many of us become who someone first helped us notice. Someone saw the leader before we felt like one. Someone saw the artist before we trusted the work. And someone saw the student, the teammate, the creator before we even had languages for it. That is kindness, and it's psychological safety in a very human form, because when someone consistently shows up and says, I see you, it becomes a little safer to believe maybe there's more in me than I realized. That is the Mentor Now program. Today we're spotlighting mentoring in Binghamton, because sometimes the first step in learning to see yourself is having someone else believe in you. All right. That's it. That's the spotlight. Taking it local. I know we've got people from all over, but it's important to me. It's my alma mater. Working really hard for the people in our community, particularly in the city of Binghamton, which has seen a lot of changes, decline in populations, moving in and different. A lot different in the city of Binghamton than when I grew up, and I would say we're trying every day. All right, let's get to our wait. That happened today. A little bit of history to keep us on track with our topic, and today we're taking it to 1776. Wait, Matt, July 4th was a couple of days ago. Why is July 8th, 1776 so important? I don't understand. We just celebrated that. Yep. The 4th was the date Congress adopted the Declaration of Independence. But July 8th was the day the words moved from paper, written, signed, into the public space where they were read aloud. People heard it, and it matters, because there's a difference between writing something down and declaring it where people can hear. There's a difference between knowing something privately and letting it become visible. That's today's connection to learning to see, is often followed by learning to say. At some point, an inner truth has to become that outer voice. The Declaration was a statement of identity, a risky one, a costly one, and a complicated one for sure. We should always remember that the ideals in those words sometimes are actually not fully lived by the people who wrote them, but the act of writing them still matters. Of people who said, this is who we are trying to become, that is powerful. And personal growth works that way too. Sometimes we carry our truth quietly for a long time. I'm not okay, I need help. Something's different, I can't keep pretending. At first, maybe we only write it in the private pages of our own mind, or maybe on paper. But eventually, if the room is safe enough, we speak it, we declare it. Not because it's a revolution of a nation, just to start one honest conversation. And that's what July 8th reminds us. Some truths have to be read aloud before they can begin changing anything. That's our wait. That happens today. Jerry. Howdy. So glad you're here. I checked out your wind chime yesterday. Pretty fancy stuff. You're always clever with those bowling balls and wind chimes in the garden. Appreciate you so much. I love it. A teacher told you that Binghamton is one of the most expensive universities and one of the best back in like the early 80s. Mike Sullivan. Well, Mike, I will tell you that Binghamton University is regularly voted, ranked amongst the top public universities in the nation and amongst the best values in education in the nation. And it is one of the more expensive SUNY schools because of what they offer. But as far as an education goes, Binghamton University is a top-notch education and a pretty cool place to come and go to school. Not that any of them, I don't know, maybe we want to come and be a co-ed. Want to live in a dorm? All right. That is silly. Excuse my scratchiness. Yes. All right, let's get to our second clue. Give me 1 second. I got to pop off camera for just 1 sec. Okay, look who's back. Guess who's back? Oh, Jess, you wanted me to do the dance. Little inside joke from Mornings in the Lab. There it is, doing the dance live on camera. Now let's get back to our real clue. Oh, I think Jerry Ginger is sniffing around the answer already. Our mystery person reminded us to remain calm. All is well. Nice. All right. Clue 2. This guy danced his way into Gen X movie history. He reminded us to remain calm, all is well, and danced his way into Gen X movie history. That's our mystery person. Who are we talking about? You lived the Animal House? Well, guess what? You lived it in 83. I lived it in 93. Jerry, I think I'm a few years behind you, but I definitely lived it. I can tell you my frat house story if you ever like to hear it. It's not one of my prouder moments. Ridiculous. Prouder times of my life. Okay. Let's get real for a second, though, because I want to move into what we're really here about. We're here to learn and to grow together, whether we're talking about college or we're talking about without a net and learning to see. Remember, the research tells us what's true. Without a net helps us put it to work. And today we're talking about an idea from psychology. I think ears up, Jess, maybe. You might be interested in this. I'm talking about a Johari window. Do we know the Johari window? It's not a psych lecture, but it is a simple way to think about how we know about ourselves and other people, how they know about us, and what we still have left to discover. Imagine those 4 windows. You can see it there, hopefully on the screen. And the first window, that's your open self. That's when you're known to others and known to yourself. It's your role, your personality, your style, the way you show up in the room, the things people already know about you. That second window, that's your hidden self. Absolutely. Your hidden self, that's the part that you know, but other people don't know about you. The doubt behind the confidence, the dream you have not said out loud, the fear underneath the joke, the story behind the smile, the question you keep carrying that you have not answered. The third is your blind spot up there in the upper right. That part, that's the part people see in you, but you haven't quite seen in yourself yet. Maybe good or bad. I don't know. You keep minimizing yourself, or a pattern you keep repeating, or maybe something you really light up about, and you don't even realize how much you light up about it. Absolutely. The last is the real deal. What's out there, the unknown self, the part of you that hasn't been revealed yet, not to other people, maybe not even to you. It's still forming, right? It's maybe the courage you've needed but haven't found yet, the voice that you haven't trusted yet, the next version of yourself, still waiting for the right conditions. That's where Hunter's lyric from Help on the Way connects us. I was blind all the time. I was learning to see. That line isn't just about realizing you missed something. It's about a moment, a hidden window starts to open. The discovery, the realization. There's more here than I understood and more in me than I recognized. There's more happening in the room than I could see first, too. That's what happened when I found that old Sesame Street cassette, that funny artifact from childhood. And it's a window. It's a window that shows us, and it showed me something that was true long before I had language. I enjoyed this. I was drawn to voice and words and performance and connection and making meaning out loud. That part of me has been in there the whole time, but I hadn't fully seen it. I'd spent so many years building a professional identity that I forgot some of my original material. And that's the power of the Johari window. It gives us a model, something to think about, something to work for, not only about improvement. The idea that growth is about revelation. Yeah, sometimes. Some moving from something hidden to open, allowing trusted people to help us to see a blind spot. That's moving from hidden to open. And as leaders and organizations, we're responsible for creating the conditions, the psychological safety that people have, not by forcing confessions, not by demanding vulnerability or command, but by creating conditions where honesty doesn't feel dangerous. A place where you can say, I don't understand, I made a mistake. Or you can say, this is something I notice about you, to help someone see a blind spot. Absolutely. It gives us the unknown. It gives us our chance for our unknown selves to emerge. And that's what playing without a net really means. It's not reckless. It's not walking into a room exposed. It's creating enough trust that discovery becomes possible. The Grateful Dead did it musically every night. Absolutely. And that's the lesson. That is the lesson. Sometimes you don't see the whole song at the beginning, but sometimes you discover it by playing. And sometimes the most important thing we can do is stop performing long enough to notice what is actually true. Absolutely. I got to sit with that for a while. Jerry, I know. I've had it. I'll show you some. I do have a professional persona. I believe this that I'm doing right here is professional persona. To me, professional is about behavior, and it's about intent, and it's about showing up. A suit and tie, it looks good. It gives you a certain command, a certain respect, a uniform. Sure, for the right time. But professionalism is so much more than the way you look and the way you dress. Absolutely. All right. Let's keep rolling. How's everybody doing out there? Do we have clues about our mystery person? Have you had your coffee yet? I have not had mine. I hope you are enjoying yours. White coat, a tie, and drugs. Jerry, you and I have some things to talk about. We share life experiences that, they are what they are. Yep. All right, let's get to, or maybe I misinterpreted what you said. A white coat and drugs. Does that mean that you were offered some? I don't know what that means. Oh, is that medically? All right, Jerry, you're all right, buddy. Okay, what are we doing? Oh, our final clue. What am I doing? Duh, I haven't given it to you. I already feel like you guys have guessed it. Maybe you haven't. Remember, our mystery person reminded us to remain calm, all is well. But he said it in not such a calm voice. Does anybody remember this line? Remain calm, all is well. Okay. And he danced his way into Gen X movie history. And lastly, his last name is also a breakfast food. Yeah, because I'm hungry. I'm fasting. His last name is a breakfast food. He danced his way into Gen X movie history. Remain calm, all is well. Those are our clues today for Who in the World. Oh, you were Doc, the corner drugstore guy. Got it. Never mind, Jerry. I didn't know that. Kevin Bacon is the answer. Mike Sullivan dropping in with the answer. 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon. Let's do our compass first, and then we'll talk more about breakfast foods and movies. All right, we always move from thought to action here on Kindness Rising and in the mornings in the Lab Network, where today is Wednesday. Wednesday at Mornings in the Lab Network is one of my favorite days. Today we have myself. That's why it's my favorite, because I'm here. Then we have Keith and John over there at Mornings in the Lab with Keith, John, and Friends. Did you guys see yesterday's show? Keith, John, and Friends? That I would call a banner episode. Absolutely great conversation, personal, a little bit rough at times. That was okay. Stephanie Atwater, amazing guest. Totally, you want to talk about not fitting the image of not reading a book by its cover. Check out Stephanie Atwater. She was awesome. Brianna Bass was there. A lot of laughter and a lot of actually great insights. Absolutely. So that was an awesome episode. I highly recommend a rewatch. Seriously, I don't do that often. And then of course, 8:30 a.m. You can interrupt your flow with Mornings in the Lab for a minute to jump over and check out my good friend Cheryl Raphael Whitaker with It Starts With Joy, 8:30 a.m. today. All right, I promised the compass. I got into a commercial. What the hell am I doing? Learning to see. This is our thoughts to action. Here are 3 ways to rise with 3 ways. The third one is yours to guess. No, 3 ways. 3 ways to rise with kindness. I'm off the rails. What am I finally ready to notice about myself? Because growth often begins when we stop judging the pattern and simply become willing to see it. Ask yourself this question: who earned permission to reflect truth back to me? The right mirror does not always shame us. It helps us see what love and honesty can reveal. Absolutely. And lastly, what strength have I been minimizing because it comes naturally? Sometimes the gift we overlook is the one we've been carrying the longest. That is today's practice. Notice with kindness, listen for the clues, and remember, seeing is not the same as judging. Seeing is where growing begins. Thank you for joining us here on Kindness Rising and the Mornings in the Lab Network. Every weekday morning, 7:30 a.m. we get started, and we just keep rolling. And we are rolling into our who's who in the world, not who's who in the world. Sully already guessed it. He told us to remain calm, all is well. I believe that was his first major film role. We're talking about Animal House, which is where Jerry Ginger jumped in. Absolutely. Yeah. Great scene of Kevin Bacon. The absolute chaos are going on. He's wearing his ROTC uniform and yelling, "Remain calm." All right. He danced into fame. That was his breakthrough. You got to cut loose, Footloose. Absolutely. Still dance to that song. Still dance all the time to that. Absolutely. And his last name is a breakfast food because he's Kevin Bacon and the 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon. Absolutely. The idea is simple. We're more connected than we think, and that fits for today because learning to see yourself is not something we do alone. We're shaped by connection, reflected by connection, challenged by connection, and encouraged by connection. Sometimes another person sees a truth in us before we can see it in ourselves, and sometimes one conversation, one mentor, one friend, one teacher, one teammate, and one honest reflection becomes the link that helps us find our way back. So today's answer is Kevin Bacon, and today's reminder is you're not as alone as you think, and you may be closer than you think to being seen. Thank you. All right. Off to see the doggies, Ginger. You got to do it, buddy. You got to go. Yep. Mr. Bacon, Kevin Bacon, Bacon. I can't get bacon off my mind. Once I start thinking about bacon, this is the time of year. I'm riffing for a minute here because I've got a little extra time. Sure, why not? We'll fill it with bacon. So a couple of things about bacon. We had BLTs earlier this week because we had great tomatoes that came from the garden. So I'm like, and lettuce. So we had BLTs. And I'm like, I go to the grocery store. Look, there's bacon. It's bacon. Go to the grocery store and there's bacon on sale. Whatever. Not our usual grocery store, not our usual bacon. So I put the bacon in like I usually do, and obviously I get an unusual result. I mean, I ended up with bacon bits. Just absolute bacon bits. Awful. I actually bake my bacon. All right, this is getting ridiculous. Then I had to make a second round of bacon, and that round of bacon came out well. And I don't know why I'm telling you, because it was delicious. It was great. I love a good BLT. Classic. All right. I think I've filled enough time today. So I want to close. I want to close with you all. I thank every single one of you, of course. Always gratitude, kindness, and love to everyone out there listening, putting up with my nonsense, hanging out with us, whatever it might be. I hope just one person had a better day today because of Kindness Rising. So I do want to close, though, with the lyric. You're going to keep hearing it. We got 2 more days of I was blind all the time. I was learning to see. It's not a lyric of shame. It's a lyric of becoming. It started with showing up real. Then why we're wearing our armor and learning to see. Tomorrow, we're going to go one step deeper even. Because once you start noticing the armor, you also start noticing the cost. Tomorrow's lesson is the cost of performing, because armor may protect us, but it also takes energy to keep wearing it. So until then, here's the thread. Be kind. Be kind to the version of you that you could not see yet. They were learning, and so are you. This is Kindness Rising Live. This is Without a Net. We'll be back here tomorrow morning, 7:30 a.m. Eastern, just like we do every weekday morning. Now it's time to get on over to Mornings in the Lab with Keith, John, and friends. I'll see you back here in the AM. Until then, stay uncommon and stay kind.